Hey everybody, this is Robert with RC Archery. Today we're going to be going over how to keep yourself in shooting shape when the weather looks like this. So for about a week straight, it's done nothing but rain. So I haven't been able to get out. I can't shoot my bow much. When I do, it's only for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe an hour if I'm lucky. And in that time frame, the muscles that you use to shoot your bow break down. The feeling of your shot, which is a huge part of it, breaks down. And then a lot of the mental practices that you have in place break down too. It just becomes a gap in what you're doing, so you're having to figure everything out as you go along the way. So we need to keep in what I would call shooting shape. Now some of this is muscle related and that's not going to really help you as much. If it's going to be a long break, you might try doing some drills where you draw your bow back, hold it anchor for 2 to 5 seconds and then let down, and then do that a few times, resting in between. You just want to be careful not to overdo anything like that or hold it draw too long. I mean, it's not going to do you a whole lot of good, just sitting there holding it draw with, our bows with our high let-offs. But it is going to help you develop the muscles where you're drawing and holding and pushing everything into your back. The biggest factor of what I find to be able to help the most is one, release execution. So using a tool like a string trainer or something like this where you can work your release. That's a really big thing that I do a lot, just so I can keep that same feeling in my hand and the way that I'm working through my shot. The other side of that is the mental side, and that's actually something that I went over in my latest DVD that I have out right now. And just kind of go more in depth on how to build that mental routine, what you're looking for when you do it. But I can tell you that a lot of it really boils down to feeling how your shot does. And if you have the right things in place where you have a shot routine, which you should, that's something mentally that you can go through each and every time. And you can follow it exactly how you did. And you can shoot your shots mentally. And believe it or not, mental repetition is what's going to give you physical ability. So if you visualize it through your head and be able to do it, that's going to give you the ability to be able to do it on a target, whether you haven't shot in a week or 2 weeks or a month or however long it's going to be. But I combine that with release execution methods where I use my string trainer. Big thing about that is making sure you have the draw length right, because you want your form replicated. So let me show you what I use in order to make sure that my draw length is going to be correct when I use one of these versus my bow. Alright guys, so what you want to do is get a piece of string, and then you want to make something or have an old grip that you can be able to use. If you have an old grip laying around, or if you want to buy one, Hoyt sells their color kits that you can get that have the all the air shocks and all the accessories. On the hunting bows, they have a different grip that you can put on there, and then be a wooden grip with color on it. If you want to do something like that, you can find them on eBay. You can buy just the grips as well. Something like that works really well. If you want to just take a piece of wood, and shape it and put a notch in it to where the string will run through it, that would work. I've gotten cardboard in the past and cut it and put it on there. I mean, however specific you want to be is going to be determined up to you. But that works really well. You want something to be able to represent a grip, you need a starting point for it, because what we're going to do next is we're going to put it on a draw board. That works best for the application that we're going to use. If you don't have a draw board, then you can make a jig or something if you want to, and make it the right length so you know what you're wanting to do. But basically what you need is something where you can tie your string to where it's the exact length that you're going to need. So what is that length? Well, I've got everything marked down here on my tape measure from what we need to do. Now when I put my bow in here in a draw board, you're looking at the deepest part of the grip is going to be on the front part of this peg. That's what's going to sit here. And then you measure from there back to the string, and it's going to be from the front part or the rear part of the string, whatever you want to use as your reference point. But what you're going to do is take that measurement, and then you add 1 3/4 of an inch to it, and that's your AMO draw length. So I know what my AMO draw length is because I've calculated it all out. I put it all on there before, and I know that my AMO draw length is here. So what I need to do is I need to take 1 3/4 of an inch away from this in order to get the measurement that I need as a starting point from here back. So what I did is I just marked everything out with a pencil on my tape measure, AMO draw length, minus an inch, minus 3/4 of an inch, and that stuck me here. Now the second part of this is a full measurement. So you're gonna have your bow's draw length from here all the way to here, and then you're gonna have your loop length on there as well, because you need that counter, you need that, you know, put in here and counted for as well. So my loop length is 7/8 of an inch. So I took my measurement that I did, which was here, that was the AMO draw length, that's what I found, and I added 7/8 of an inch to that to get me to this longer mark right here. So when I draw this back, or if I have a jig set up, what I'm gonna do is take the measurement from here, from your front post, back to wherever this stops. This needs to be that measurement at that long mark that I made. My AMO draw length, or my prior to AMO draw length, the measurement minus that 1 3/4 plus your loop length. Now, there's two different things with that. That works if you have just a string that you're going to use. The majority of people are going to do that. So that works perfect. Now I have a little bit different setup. I have a more-in string trainer, and these have stretch bands on them, and they're designed to have a stopping point on them based on tension. And these are set up for 22 pounds. They come in different replications of holding weight. They come in different weights. 22 pounds, I think one's 20, I think one's 18, maybe 15. I don't remember. I haven't looked in a while. But you can look them up on Lancaster's website and they'll show you the ones on there. So I have a different setup. Now if you have this, or if you have something similar to this, I set it up on my draw board and I use my scale. So I've got my Last Chance Archery draw board and I've got one of their scales, and I'm going to draw this back to where it hits the 22 pounds. That's going to be its holding, and that's where it's going to bottom out. And then I'm going to adjust everything from down here. This is your adjustment point to make the length right, and then I'm going to make that come out to the exact measurement that I want. So never mind the mess everywhere. But this is why I like this draw board, because now I can use my handle after I've gotten this cranked back to a certain point, and I can fine tune by moving my handle how I want this to come out. So I know I need it to be at 22 pounds. So I'm going to back this out just a little bit until right when it hits that 22 mark. And then what I'm going to do is just take my measurement. So I'll measure from the front of my peg back to the end of my D-loop, and I'm going to see where everything is at and see if it matches up my mark. So I can see right now the way that I have this set up, it's really long. I need it to come back to here, so I'll know that I need to shorten this out, and that's what I'll do. Alright guys, so now we just got to test everything out. So take your string trainer, put it in your hand. You want it to be in the exact same spot on your grip wherever you place your riser and your grip rather in your hand each time. So I know how I'm going to do that. I know where the pocket is. I know how I do my grip to be able to put it in there. I'm going to make the exact same stance as what I always do when I go to shoot a bow. I'm going to do my grip the same. I'm going to raise my arm up just above like I would, and draw back to anchor, and anchor in and click, and then run through my shot process. And that feels exactly the same, so it works really well whenever you do the exact accurate measurements. One other trick that I like to do, we talked about the mental side of it, I will incorporate the mental side into this. So I will do the same thing, and you can do this if you're on a business trip, if you're, the weather like it is out here and you're not being able to go out and shoot because of the rain, if you're just not with your bow, whatever the case may be, this is something you can take with you and something you can do along with your release, and it's a really easy thing. I'll actually use my mental process along with this as well, so I can close my eyes and envision myself on the line shooting, and I can shoot my exact same shot every time. And the big thing is shot timing, and keeping that timing consistent and working on that and being able to take that over to a bow. And that's what's going to help you a lot in just overall confidence in your shooting, because your release execution is going to be ingrained in your mental side, and it's not going to be something you have to physically focus on. Thank you for tuning into this week's Tuesday's Tip of the Week video. Keep an eye out. I'm going to have some few more coming out. I'm running out of ideas though. So if you have something you want to see, comment below, send me an email, send me a message, something like that. If I haven't already done it, if it's something that I can be able to do, I'll try to accommodate that, and then I can put it in these videos and help y'all be able to see it. Hope y'all have a great afternoon. We'll see you soon.